Hi, welcome to the Winning Mind. My name is Jenny Nkebemiso. In today's episode, I want to share with you a brief introduction of what it means to live from within. Living from within is a spiritually proven process that will guarantee you freedom from your mental health issue, freedom from mental health, depression, anxiety, and all the things that are troubling the human mind. I believe that when you apply this method, when you apply this process in your life, you too will be free from frustration, fear, stress, and all the craziness that is going on in the world. The first thing I would like to mention here is that this is a spiritual show. Speaking specifically to the troubled soul. It's not for the human mind, because the human mind cannot understand the things of the spirit. Again, this is a spiritual show, speaking to the troubled soul. If you are emotionally distressed, sad, lonely, depressed, anxious, and you are unable to fix or change your mental health condition, then this show is for you. This show is also for someone who have tried so many different methods or so many different things to address their mental health issue, and you've not found any help. Then I would like to recommend you to try to live from within. It might help you if only you believe. The only requirement you need is to have an open heart. As you come into the show and you have an open heart, you learn how to see yourself as God sees you, and watch how your self-created image will be dissolved right in front of your very own eyes. And you will free yourself from your worries, your stress, your depression, your anxiety, because it is only you who can save yourself. It is only you who can save yourself from everything you are going through. Your beliefs have influenced your habits and shaped your life by your design. Now, I believe that by you changing your beliefs, by you changing your outlook, changing your beliefs, changing your perspective, you will change your behavior. By that change of consciousness, that change of perception, that change of looking at life in a spiritual perspective, I believe that change will change your behavior, it will change the way you feel, and it will eventually change your experience and how you are experiencing life. If this sounds good to you, then let's dive in. What do I mean by living from within? By living from within, I mean you live from a spiritual consciousness and a spiritual awareness. So when you live from a spiritual consciousness and awareness, then you are living from within. Your source, you are living from the pure essence of your nature, your life, who you are, how God sees you. So now, are you living from within? Are you living your life from a spiritual perspective? Are you aware of who you are spiritually? Let me know in the comments below how that is working for you, living from within, living from a spiritual perspective. I would like to know your own experiences, because in this show, I'm going to be sharing with you tools and things to do to live from within, and I will share with you my experiences, how that has worked for me. I would like to know how that is working for you. So, living from within, it is living from the depth of your being, from your heart, from your spirit and your soul functioning together. Living from within is living from life as God designed it. God is the author of life. God is spirit. Living from within is living as a spiritual being. And living as a spiritual being, it means that you see life, you live life, you feel life from a spiritual perspective. And that living, that outflow of love, of life from within you is what reflects upon your body, is what reflects upon who you are, and that is what reflects in the outward. That is what reflects through your form, which we call your body. So before I proceed, I think it's very important that we know where we are living from. Now I want to kind of break it down so that you can see for yourself whether or not you are living from within, and to be able to help you to make that choice today where you want to live your life from. So I'll start by looking at your spiritual origin. When God created you as a spirit being. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, it says that he created man in his likeness and in his image, male and female created he them. The Bible says them, but it's created he him. The male part of this man whom God created is spirit, while the female part is the soul. So there are two parts. So there are two parts of this man, the man God created. You have the spirit plus the soul. The spirit is the male. The soul is the female. The totality of the male and the female is I. And this I is Christ. So God created man, spirit. The man God created is a spirit being. God created this man, spirit. So God created you, spirit, in his image and in his likeness. He says male and female created he him. It says that male and female created he him. I want you to note here that this relationship, this marriage that God created, this male and the female, it is a spiritual relationship, and it is a covenant relationship. This relationship is a relationship that cannot be broken. No one can break it, because this is the nature of God. This is the form of God. God created you in his likeness and in his image. And the Bible says that male and female created he him. The male is the spirit. The spirit is the male part of that relationship, and the soul is the female part of that relationship. And this the product of this relationship, when the male and the female met through reproduction, spiritual reproduction. Through this spiritual reproduction, what was produced is Christ. The product of this marriage is Christ, and Christ is the I. Christ is composed of the spirit and the soul being together as one. So the product of that marriage is the I, and that I is the Christ. This I, which is the Christ, is the only man whom God ever created, and this I is your true mind. When God created man, God actually created your mind, the mind of Christ. That was the man God created, and that is the only mind God created. So when God looks at you, what does God see? God sees the man he created, and this man he created is the Christ, and that Christ is who you are, because you were created in the likeness, in the very nature of God, your creator. He created you in his own image. He created you in his own nature, and that Christ is who you are. This is the mindset that Jesus Christ used while he was on earth. This was the mindset that gave Jesus Christ the power, the ability to be able to overcome this world and all the pain and the suffering that is in this world. So if you want to conquer this world, if you want to conquer your mental illness, if you want to conquer your suffering, your pain, your depression, and all the craziness that is going on in the world today, you need to live your life out of this mind. This is the only mind that is going to save you, that is going to deliver you. And you are the only one who can deliver yourself, because this mind that God created is you. When God created that eye, God created man. God created the mind. And this is the mind that you are supposed to be living from. This is the mind that overcomes, that conquers this world that we know and we think is the true world. So this mind is who you are. You are the mind. When God created man, when God created man, God created the mind. And that mind is who you are. When God looks at you, he sees himself, because he created you in his nature, which is spirit. This is the I am, a spirit being created by God. You are that spirit being that was created by God. That is who you are. And so, when you live your life from this mind, you are living from within. And that means that you have recognized and accepted yourself as a spirit being. When you accept this mindset, when you accept yourself the way God sees you, when you see yourself the way God sees you, when you accept this identity, it means that you are living from the mind of Christ. You are living from the mind. It means that you have believed that you are truly the mind that God created. You are living from within, and you have recognized and accepted yourself as a spirit being. This is the very first step you need to take to live from within. You must see yourself as a spirit being. You must accept yourself as a spirit being. You must see yourself the way God sees you. Because if you do not see yourself the way God sees you, then you are seeing something else. And when you are seeing something else different from what God is seeing, then you are seeing a distorted image. You are seeing a falsified image. What you are seeing is not what is true. What you are seeing is not true. And so you are living a false life. Everything you are seeing, or everything that is presented to you from your mind, is a false image. It's a false reality. It's not true. But when you see yourself the way God sees you, and you see your mind and believe that your mind is the mind God created, and you accept that this is who you are, then you are living a life of truth. And then that is your truth. That is the pure essence of what life is all about. So now, you might be wondering, and even if you are not wondering, before I even move forward, I want to ask you a question. Are you living from within? Seeing that what I have said, and I don't want us to make any mistake. Living from within doesn't mean that you go to church every Sunday. It doesn't mean that you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior the way religion has done it. That's not living from within. Living from within is knowing that for a truth, you are a spirit being and you are not a human being. Because I don't want there's a possibility that somebody might think that, I go to church every day, I go to Bible study every day, I am kind, I'm good to my neighbors, I'm doing all those man-made religious designs, religious prescription. You might feel that, you might misinterpret that as living from within. Living from within is simple, and that is what the Bible means when it says that you must be born again. You must see that you are yourself. It's not that you are not the one who came out of your mother's womb. You must see yourself as a person, a man who was created in God's image and in God's likeness. And that is why Jesus told Nicodemus, say that you must be born again. And he asked, do I need to get back into my mother's womb? No. This is a spiritual betting. This is a spiritual betting that you have to see yourself in the way God sees you. Being born again is becoming aware of who you are. You're becoming aware of the consciousness. You're becoming aware of who you are. You're becoming aware of your spirituality. You're becoming conscious of who you are spiritually. That is the true meaning of being born again. Being aware of the awareness that you are. Being aware of the consciousness that you are. Now, what are you conscious about? Are you conscious of your human nature, or are you conscious of your spiritual nature? That's another way of finding out if you are living from within, or you are within, or you are living from without. So now, most people live from without, yet they think they are living from within. So let me just share this just to make some clarification. Maybe with this sharing you might understand. So living from without means living from your head space, living from a mental framework, living and knowing and believing that you are a human being. So when you see yourself, when you live from your head, when you live from your mental framework based on all the education and all the things you have acquired from the day you were born to wherever level or stage of life you are, when all the mental framework, all the perspective, all the understanding, that stems from a human origin. That is called human knowledge. That is what it means, living from a mental and a human perspective. That is when you live from that, it means that you are living from without. When you live your life using logic, using human reasoning, using your five senses and the physical and natural world around you, you are living from without. For example, you see something. Maybe you see somebody who is making it big time, and your friend or your colleague is doing well, and you feel so depressed. Oh, I'm working hard. I'm doing this. Why is my friend making it? Why are they happier than me? That means you have seen something, and your life, your feeling, your behavior is being shaped by your feeling is being shaped by what you have seen. This person is living this way. Because this person is living this way and I'm not living this way, it makes you sad, it makes you depressed. Then, by living that way, you are living from without. For example, another example could be somebody says some things about you, or you hear some things about you, and because of what you hear about you, it makes you sad, it makes you depressed. It makes you don't want to go out. It makes you not want to hang out. It makes you not want to do so many things that you want to do. It means that you are living from without. Whenever your behaviors, your sense of motivation, your actions, your habit is being influenced by what you see, what you hear, how you feel, what people say about you, that way of living life, that perspective of life, that way of reasoning and looking at life, it means you are living from without. Most people live from without because they do not know that they are spirit beings. So many people live from without, and they believe that that is the only life that is supposed to be lived. They are not aware of a spiritual life, of their spiritual reality. They are not aware of the truth of who they are. And so, why is that? How did that happen? How is it that you were created in God's image and in your life, in God's likeness, and yet you have no clue of who you are spiritually? Why is it that there is so much suffering and pain in the world? There is so much distress. There is so much hurting and sorrow and grief. Yet, God has been described as somebody who is loving, who is kind, who is love. His nature itself is love. So why would God be sitting and then so many bad things are happening to the people of the world? Where is God? The reason why so many people have not seen God and why they are living in pain and in sorrow is because they are living their life, their mind, they are not living their life from the mind that God ordained from the beginning. And because they are living from a false mind, what they are experiencing, what they are seeing is a distorted image. There is a distortion, there is a falsity. And this way of living and perceiving life, it stems from a human origin. Because if you listen to what I did mention, God created you spirit. He didn't create you human being. He created you as a spirit being. But now you claim to be a human being. What happened? How do you move from a spirit being to a human being? Now, this is what happened. Your soul, remember I said God created man, male and female. Your soul fell asleep. And while the soul of man fell asleep, so in her sleep, she sees this world and describes this world as a natural world, because she's not aware of her spiritual reality. Even though human beings hold on to celebrate the soul, that the soul is God. The soul is not God. The soul and God, the soul, the spirit and the soul must function together. So they cannot function independently from each other. So while you are celebrating the soul, you are missing on something. You are missing the spirit. The spirit and the soul must be one. I did mention that it's a covenant relationship, a relationship that cannot be broken. So, but because the soul fell asleep, your soul fell asleep, you now see this world as a physical, natural world. And your soul has now fallen in love with this world. And as a result of that, she has forgotten her spiritual origin. Your soul has fallen in love with this world and has forgotten her spiritual origin. And so what happened? As a result of the soul falling asleep and is dreaming, so every human experience is a dream. Everything you are experiencing, and whenever you think and know, whenever you believe that you are a human being, all of your experiences is a dream. Everything you experience is a dream. Why? Because your soul is sleeping. Your soul fell asleep. And in her sleep, the soul got entangled, got married to the physical, natural world. And they have now united themselves.